Hello and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Hardcore. My name is Syken and today we're continuing the World of Warcraft Hardcore journey of our Shaman Syken Shocks. I did a little bit of grinding, we're level 52 and I cut out the not so interesting parts, mainly us going through the blasted lens and just killing a lot of mobs for 1 hour buffs and the option to do that later even more often. So the short and sweet is we're pretty much done with that, and we're now level 52, also got the new skills, and we have arrived in Felwood, where the idea is to do the Jadanar quest lines, as well as maybe a couple of other quests, get higher reputation with the Fullborgs here, and just in general collect a lot of the Cenarian salves, which we will need later for raiding. So I will spend some time here just to make sure that I am raid ready. And the cool part about Jadanar is, as a shaman, it's relatively easy to deal with most of the mobs here. I'm not sure that we're going to go into Jadanar myself without help of someone else, simply because it's quite a dangerous prospect, but we can definitely do all of the previous quests. We're going to start with that, and then next what we do have a Satyr quest called the Filled Well, which we also need to do. But for now, let's just fight the forces of Jadanar. We're seeing a couple of other people being here. If we can get to the same step, do you want to go into Jadanar together for the escort?
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't
Good. Let's invite this guy, and we're essentially preparing for a little bit later.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Hi there. I am currently at step 1 of the quest, which is Forces of Jadanar. You have that already, I think. You are at the stage with the water, right? So next stage is you need to fill a vial there. Okay, that is next step for me. Let me catch up, and then we can go together. Very good. Let's do exactly that. Trying to catch up, and once that is done, we can indeed go together with this guy. Fast forward for you. Good. After a little bit more of grinding, my newfound partner Mistlock HC and I am done with killing these guys. He already, or they, I don't know, might be a female for all I know. They already have completed that first step, and we're on the second step where they needed to fill the vial. So I need to catch up on that. We'll get our little riding carrot stick just to ride a bit faster. So trade in basically come back, fill the vial, trade in, and then we can go into the actual dungeon. The quest itself is dangerous, so that's why I wanted to make sure we do have help. I could theoretically do it alone, not necessarily the escort quest. I think that is out of question because it's just too many mobs too quickly and too risky, plus an elite mob at the very end, so not sure if that would have been a great idea. But all the rest I think will work out very, very well. Is she also are they also having the riding carrot? Maybe. I'm not really gaining a lot of ground. Damn you for having a riding carrot as well. Good, let me trade in and then we're going to get the water. Alrighty, so we're back. Let's get the water. I need to kill a couple of these guys here for cleansing shards to begin with. The idea is that I need 6 cleansing shards to cleanse corrupted songflowers. I just got 6 out of the mobs that I killed beforehand. There's one. And I cleansed 1 songflower. Unfortunately, our friend Mistlock HC might not have been very much familiar with when to click the songflowers, so he accidentally began to click a bit too early, so he got the buff. I didn't. Unfortunate, it happens, but you always gotta have patience with newer players. They don't do it maliciously. So we're just going to get a few more shards so that I can cleanse the sunflowers. And with that we should be fine. So just clearing everything here in the hopes of obtaining a few shards, and we are then potentially okay. Fast forward for you guys. Alrighty, so we got all of the pre-quests done. It is time to go into the Jadenar outpost, dungeon, whatever you want to call it, and to finally face the forces of Jadenar. A warlock friend and I am ready. Let's heal up. Drinking up, and then let's crack them down. Good. Warlock and Shaman, by the way, is a really nice combination. A bit of a throwback of my early days of World of Warcraft. My very first experience in World of Warcraft was me starting a Shaman and leveling with a pal of mine who played a Warlock. It was the exact same. No, he was an Orc Warlock, so a similar combination, and I was an Enhancement Shaman. Not the best class combination back in the day, since we just didn't know what we were doing, and the guy was aggressively life tapping to a point where, as an Enhancer, I just couldn't heal up, and I also didn't really have a clue about down leveling tasks, so it was a very unique experience. But we beat all of the content together, made it to level 60, and eventually even started to do some open world PvP until we found out that at this point in time, in order to realistically continue PvPing, we had to raid, and that was just not our type of tea. So in a sense, that was the end of the journey there, because as others were getting more geared and were just becoming stronger, the PvP for us became more and more difficult, to a point where you just couldn't keep up with the Joneses anymore. And that's when that pair of characters died. However, I very vividly remember kind of the experiences of also going into caves and cave-like systems, and even at that point with highly suboptimal builds, the class combination of Warlock plus Shaman still had a lot of upside. So if played correctly, you could very much take on more difficult content, simply by virtue of a lot of crowd control that is possible. So Warlock, for instance, has the option to banish these guys if needed. The Shaman is a decent healer. You come automatically with a pet. Chardok here is going to be our tank. So you, in a sense, do have 3 characters together that resemble kind of the standard World of Warcraft party, in a sense. Don't take it yet. We need to find the key. Yep. So for me, that's a huge positive throwback into the good, quote-unquote, good old days, as Mistlock HC and I am jointly clearing this dungeon. And I preserve some mana, just allowing myself to be the healer here.
I need to get closer.
I think I'll get the quest update as well. Yes. Very well. And by the way, time is flying by. I mean, we're already 52 with almost 60% in it. For tonight, I've loosely assembled a group of people that would want to do Sunken Temple, so that's hopefully one of the next few episodes here.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Alright, easy peasy. That's a nice formula. Congratulations. Yeah, that goes for a lot. Well, a lot. 8 gold. Good loot. People like stamina on their bracers. Good, and the reason why this area in particular here is a little bit more spicy, I should say, is because a lot of the pulls are double pulls. And you remember how I mentioned that the one thing that the Shaman is really not that good at is dealing with double and triple pulls. Well, the Warlock is quite good at dealing with multiple adds. For starters, you do have a pet. Then half of, well, a portion of the guys here are devils and demons, so that is a natural fit for the Warlock to just come in with a really good crowd control via banish, which the character already has at this point. Theoretically, you do have the option to fear them, just pull them far enough away, and then fearing won't be a big issue whatsoever. And yeah, overall just a very versatile and well-rounded combination. In later versions of the game, this was even a good 2 versus 2 team, where in Arena these two characters just complemented off of each other. Granted, in that version the Shaman was a pure resto shaman, but yeah, I mean, we're not in TBC or Wrath of the Lich King, we're in Classic, and it's still a good combination of characters here.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
The other good part is the Warlock typically comes with can I get a Healthstone? Oh, self-found. Never mind. Good. Well, that solves the whole issue around Hellstones, or rather the lack thereof. Good, we're still searching for the key to free up the prisoner, because there is a nice little escort quest in here, but it requires us to have a random drop, which just coincidentally hasn't dropped so far. Typically it drops much earlier, but okay, well, suppose we're unlucky this time. Good, I'm preserving mana. Just put down the mana spring totem as well, so I can refresh. And yeah, the idea here is we're going to get all of the bracers lit up, and then hopefully we're getting the key, man. Because boy, this is a bit less drop rate than expected. Good. Takes the Dark Weaver from the mid. That is totally fine.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
All right. So, I mean, the good part about it is we're collecting lots of shards, and these will come very handy when we want to do sunflower buffs.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
No key yet. Let's clear some more and then go back and redo it until we get the key. Good, fast forward until we find the key. Alright, just in time we picked up the key. Key starts a quest.
Ishnu Allah, Del Nadris.
Trade in, but don't take follow-up yet. Let me know when you are ready.
What brings you here?
Alright, here we go. Let's rock. Well, we are entering right in the area of respawn. Perfect timing, or worst timing in World of Warcraft history. Because that means we need to fight through all of these guys again.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready.
I'm just making sure that we kill them right away. We are in the middle of our own respawn, so care please.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready.
Good, and since we have killed all of these guys, follow on me please. Then you can go AFK. It's not the best timing, my man. You want to make sure that these things are sorted out. We cannot skip it now. If she dies, it'll take major time for her to respawn. But we can see if she is up after the quest is done. And I just have to rerun it. Is what it is. Good, this is the part where it becomes a bit more sketchy / difficult. And soon things will respawn here, so she better hurries up. Good, very nice banish. One of them is gone. One is being tanked. And one we already killed. Not too bad. Good, we're now running fully into the respawn, so this is actually a dangerous situation. These guys could respawn. I need to make sure that my totem isn't standing in the middle of the room like an absolute buffoon. So we'll put it here so that it doesn't pull. Like I said, we're now facing our own respawn, which in a sense is a bit ironic, because we cleared it and hence they are going to spawn. Good, that's also the part where the quest becomes naturally a little bit more difficult. If it's only you fighting together with Mrs. Wonder Woman here, then things can spiral out of control easily. You gotta continuously kill 2 to 3 enemies, so I wouldn't do that on my shaman alone. It would be a bit of a recipe for disaster. There's the respawn. I'll just string through it. The Warlock reacted nicely. I think there is another respawn coming. Yep, there we go. Oh, that's what I said. Right into our own respawn. But luckily for us, we got it all well under control. Wait, there's a shard here. No, okay. Yeah, I'm still collecting the shards because these will translate nicely into salves, and salves will translate into songflower buffs, which I will need plenty of. Good, we're now in an area that has fully respawned, so there isn't any problem for us anymore. In a sense, that's a blessing, because now we can just get down the Jadana forces and be done with it. Nothing will spawn on top of us. It's always you always gotta keep an eye out for where's the respawn happening, what's the timer on that, and if you do understand just how respawn works, then you will not be surprised. And since we've originally walked in and then you have 5 minutes until everything starts to respawn, the moment that I saw that when we were freeing her up, the first few Jadana forces respawn, I knew we would now get right into kind of a wave of respawns. So that was how I deducted that information, and we then were just faster with her. And we basically avoided going fully back into the respawn. So we now need to take care of it. Time for me to continue to drink up. Things are good. Yeah, the combination Warlock Shaman, really appreciate that. And I will be a bro and help the guy out to do the escort right afterwards. Although I could basically say, you know what, tough luck, you didn't click it when it was ready. But being the friendly gamer that I am, of course I'll help them as well. Okay, we just need to redo it then.
I can't cast that yet. That spell is already hit. That's I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell.
So this quest, by the way, is likely one of the hardest in the leveling progression, simply because you need to go through so many enemies continuously, keep your resources up, and then at the very end the quest adds insult to injury because a elite mob is spawning, and it's not a weak one, it's actually one that slaps quite a bit. So whilst it is theoretically possible on level 56, for instance, to do this here solo, it's a tall task.
That's still recharging. I can't.
Moving a little bit forward, drinking. The warlock also knows what's up. They are bandaging. Because now we're going to very much come to the end boss here. Getting full mana will help us.
That's still recharging. That's still
Alrighty, that
spell
and that, and of course we're going to see an elite mob coming in.
I can't cast that yet. That spell.
I'm already assuming that I am going to tank this guy. So here we go. And as you can see, he slaps. Back in and redo the quest. I'll fast forward that part for you as I'm just helping them, the other guy. Good. After a second run, we're finally done. Dousing the flames. Final blow we're potentially not going to do. And rescue from Jadanar. The final quests are a bit high, both red for me, so that will need to wait. Thanks for grouping. It was a pleasure. Good. So we got that. Now it's time to get a song for our bruv, finally. We have collected almost 40 shards. That was the good part about that whole ordeal. Because now we can trade in hunting, and some more hunting, and guess what? More hunting. And I think that's the last one. Yeah, fantastic. So then we got those little sunflowers here. I cleansed one earlier where our partner unfortunately clicked it too early. Might have been on a different layer though, because I don't find it. I'll cleanse another one right now, and then we're going to fill up a bottle in the Well of Corruption, which is in the middle of a satyr area. So that'll be fun as well. In terms of just general quests here, it's just Well of Corruption for us at the moment. Once that is done, Fellwood for now is more or less quested. I could grind timber moss. There we got the Songflower, fantastic. Just what the doctor ordered. little bit of experience, and the Songflower Serenade, which is the whole reason why I'm doing that to begin with. Felwood is so good because you always have a world buff, and that world buff is just absolutely cracked. So I think what I'm going to do is first do the Timber Moors, because look at that, we got Timber Moor Hold, show us experience bar, and we gotta kill quite a few Timber Moors in order to grind reputation, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So fast forward for you, that'll be about 20 minutes of grinding, I suppose. Good, we are back. Grinded, got the Timber Moor Hold to unfriendly, and even got a couple of feathers that I can actually trade in. So that's going to be semi-important for us a little bit later down the road, mainly because I want to make sure that we can pass through the tunnels. Now this section here, not that easy. There are a lot of invisible mobs hanging around, and I just want to make sure we're being fine. The satyrs, just gotta be careful with them. And they're not running away, which is kind of the good news. I'm just single-handedly nuking them down instead of moving too close, because that's exactly what can happen. These Shadow Stalkers are nasty, man. And the answer to Shadow Stalkers is always just keep your health bar up. They deal a lot of damage, as one can see. So we really don't want to be caught with our pants down. If it's a double or even a triple pull, we're being in trouble. And running from here, just due to the fact that there are invisible mobs, isn't going to be that simple. It's another quest line where you're better off if you're together. Unfortunately, our partner needed to leave. It's really the last quest for us to do here before moving on. And there we go. Oh, that's the double pull I was afraid of. Good, the other one just turned around, so we could isolate the Shadow Stalker. I basically broke the leash of the other one. And yeah, I mean, we can handle two, but if a third one comes in, all of a sudden it becomes a bit more problematic. So what are we going to do? We're near level 53. That's a really good level for Unguru Crater. Very, very good and rewarding quest down there, so I think we're going to do a little bit of that before we're then transitioning into Sunken Temple. Like I mentioned, Sunken Temple has a lot of good quests, one of which, by the way, has a pre-quest in Unguru Crater, so might as well do that before going into the Sunken Temple today, so that I do have as much of the pre-quests done as humanly possible. Typically dungeon quests tend to give you a very, very healthy amount of experience. By the way, changed the, just I would say, general approach of fighting these mobs. Whilst in the past I was more heavily relying on totems, I think this time I'm just bursting them down one at a time. The lightning bolts have reached kind of a power level where that is very much possible. I do have a lot of range, and with that typically enemies die before they can even reach me. If we're talking about casters, I'm okay with taking one or two casts. It won't really change a lot for us. That, on the other hand, is going to be a bit of a problem. Two Shadow Stalkers. see, poison in itself is already quite nasty. Good. We're just going to go the safe route. Took a mana pot there. And just grind it out. I think another poison cleansing isn't too bad. And that's typically what I don't want to happen. Just the melee nature or going into melee with them unnecessary. So you've just witnessed kind of a double pull. Manageable, but they are dealing quite a bit of damage. I think they do have Jade Fire, which is fire damage, and then on top of that they do have the poison proc, which really slows you down, so they can very much follow you and run you down, which is the dangerous part of them. And since they do have high stealth levels, as a level 52, my stealth detection is not yet up there. Anyways, before we digressed into it, I was talking about the Sunken Temple, which I think a lot of the quests that we need to do there will yield a very nice reward for us, so I'm looking forward for that. Pretty sure there is another hidden one here. Pretty sure there is another hidden one right here, so that's a bit of a trap, which is why I'm drinking up.
I can't cast that yet. That's still charging. I can't cast that yet.
Alright, just getting ready to essentially be attacked by a second Jade Fire. So far we're good, and we can just nicely get this guy down. Oh, we need that demonic rune, thank you. That's really good loot.
The spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still charging.
Elemental Overload came in just at the right time, so to kill this guy. Still worried that there is another hidden satyr there. So, which is why I'm keeping our mana up and not just going to go down to 0%. It's just a precaution mechanism. Okay. Once we're done here, that's also the natural end of this episode, because we have gone through the entirety of the show.
Charging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still charging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still charging. I can't.
So that should be easy. Do we, by the way, we just need to fill the flask, and then the follow-up quest is for Severantus, which we don't need at the moment. We just really need to fill the flask, and that's about it. The rune, by the way, will come in super handy. I'm looking forward for that. Binding that down here as another means to regain mana. Since when we're going into the Sunken Temple, I'm really out of mana, that will give us the extra oomph that we need. Okay, let's make sure that we're not pulling any of these guys. Not in the mood to have a stressful escape here. Very good. Cool. We're going to trade in Well of Corruption, and then we're done with Felwood for now, leaving it behind and flying nicely to Yungoro Crater, maybe doing a couple of pre-quests there. You can see that there is respawn. triggered that. There's the Shadow Stalker. And I didn't want to need to fight all of that, because I knew exactly that that could lead into a bit more of a problematic situation. I also didn't want to just stand and re-clear it, because then you move into your own respawn. So getting out is always a bit sketchy, but we managed it. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. And we're going to see each other in the next episode. Bye bye.